Hi, I'm here to talk to you about the event How to Write a Winning Resume of the Track 2 Professional Development. On Tuesday, March 13th, I attended this presentation by Nancy Dudak, the director of the Career Center. The event was attended for all students, but there ended up being only 2 freshmen there, so she directed her presentation to us. As she stated, a resume is a summary of experiences and qualifications that entices someone to meet you for an interview. She urged us not to include everything, but also not to undervalue ourselves. In addition, for us freshmen, it's important to keep in mind that you need to have both high school achievements as well as college. As a finance major like myself, I asked what type of paper, if we should use color, and she stated that for finance companies, white paper is accepted because they're more straightforward and you have to be aware of the culture that you're applying for a job. And maybe for a marketing major, they want to include color to show their creativity, but not for finance. Another thing to keep in mind before you start is that preliminary research can be very beneficial. This way you can find out the desired skills the company is looking for and use key values and words taken right from their website or commercials. Okay, so now you can begin your resume. To start yourself off, it may be helpful to use a template, but you do not want to stay in the template. Break out of it in the end to differentiate yourself and add more information. When it comes to organization, place what's most impressive first. For college students, that's education, but when you start working, job experience might end up being more important. On the top of the page is your contact information. List your name, email address, and phone number. For your home address should also be there, and it is fine to include just that, but if you want to have your school address, that could be helpful as well. She gave the example of maybe a Villanova student applying for a job in Philadelphia. They tend to hire more local students, so putting your Villanova address would be helpful. When it comes to the phone number, a lot of times people use their home phone. She's told us many stories about people answering their cell phone in an uncomfortable and not professional environment, so it's much safer to go with the home phone. Next comes the objective. This should be short, specific, and a balance between you and the organization. You want to state what you can bring to the company and also what you want. For the education section, which should follow, name your college, its location, your grade point average, and the date of your graduation. The same applies for high school. You may also want to include honors, the dean's list, or any other things that go along with education in this section. Be aware that you should be using business language to highlight skills and strengths. They use word finders in these resumes sometimes, and seeing the word Excel is very good for a business student. The application of numbers, adjectives, and adverbs should also be included to impress the reader. So now you can figure out your remaining categories. The categories could be related experience, employment, leadership, skills, activities, or interests. Remember, only include things that you want to talk about. Also, you should first write down the things that you enjoy and then worry about putting them in categories. Overall, you should end up with about 4 or 5. And in these categories, relate your experiences with what you learned. You should get away from the list and make it more like a story. As a final note, make sure you do not include references. This was an old thought, and now we like to think that you have better information to put on your resume, so references aren't really necessary. I hope that was informative, and if you have any further questions, you can email me at gferrero@villanova.edu. Thank you.